Yo, folks, Coach Simmons here, and I'm going to give 100% credit to what credit is due. Much props to NC Central, North Carolina Central, for beating Jackson State 41-34. Basically, they ran 3 plays the whole game, and those 3 plays hit every single time. They treated the Celebration Bowl as a Super Bowl, which means they did not hold one play back. I love the fake punt. Nobody saw that coming. They brought out the Philly special, like they were actually scouting Jackson State. 100%. The last 2 Celebration Bowls, Jackson State was outcoached. Now, the offense for Jackson State did show up. And I'm not going to hate on the young man for dropping the pass. Because if you want to hate on him for dropping that pass, if Dion had kicked the extra point instead of going for 2, it wouldn't have got to overtime. So there's plenty of blame to go around for Jackson State. Right now, it's time to let North Carolina Central shine. And the new best quarterback in HBCU football get his flowers. So let's talk about the game a little bit, if you don't mind. North Carolina Central came in there and, hey, look, I've said it half the year. The first team that beats Jackson State must be an HBCU. People were saying, what are you talking about? You're stupid. No. No. You don't get it. In order to keep this movement going, you couldn't have a Gardner Webb. You couldn't have an Austin Peay. You couldn't have a Lamar be the first ones to beat the loudmouth king of the HBCUs. It had to be another HBCU. It had to. And I finally understand it. I get it. Y'all beating me to death about this, man. I get it. The Celebration Bowl blows anything out of those playoffs. It's not even a question about should we have it again. The only thing in the question is, should we have a HBCU playoff series? Add 2 more teams. I'm not saying the SIAC and C. Excuse me. I'm not saying the SIAC or the CIAA, but we can definitely add the next 2 from each conference. Imagine FAMU in there as well as Howard in a playoff situation. That would have been crazy. But now, I got that out the way. Celebration Bowl is over. What is next for Jackson State? Well, people, in the Swac, I'm sorry to tell you, the Swac still runs through Jackson State. Coach T.C. Taylor has the ability this year to do something for the school that has not been done since the 80s. When I say since the 80s, I mean since W.C. Gordon. Now, it won't be the same coach doing it because Coach Prime has moved on to Colorado. But one thing W.C. Gordon did from 86 to 88, he went and in the Swac. That's the history Jackson is chasing next year. And I know Celebration Bowl is fresh in everybody's mind, and everybody's waiting to see how many teams or players left Jackson State. But let's be real about it. Let's be 100% honest about it. A lot of kids are going to leave Jackson State. A lot of kids will enter the portal and come back to Jackson State. But you got to ask yourself, the talent was way better. Because you remember, the Swac was trying to catch up to Jackson State in 2021. Now, they're catching up in 2022. I completely agree. The coaching decisions, the lack of adjustments has been a problem for Jackson State. But now with a head coach who has roots not only in the Swac but in the MEAC, maybe he can do this thing called an adjustment. Offensive adjustments, defensive adjustments. That's the only difference between Jackson State and 2 straight Celebration Bowls. Can you make them? Will you make them? Hey, we don't know Jackson State's schedule. Not yet. We do know the first game they're going to play will be against South Carolina State. If you don't think Buddy Pugh has film from NC Central in his back pocket, I heard Buddy Pugh was at the Celebration Bowl. That man's scouting already. It's up to TC Taylor to make sure that not only does the Swac still run through Jackson State, TC Taylor must make sure that Jackson State does not turn into the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, I didn't say Alcorn. I said the Buffalo Bills. So Alcorn has a chance to say that only A&T was better than them. The Bills lost to 4 different people from the same division. Look it up. This is what's going to happen. Who going to step up next year's Celebration Bowl? Will Jackson be back? Because the Swac is still running through 1400 Lynch Street. Everybody can talk unless you're south of South Carolina.